The world of creative writing is, well, it's changing fast. Technology and the human mind are starting to blur together. And that could feel a little scary, right? But what if this change isn't a threat at all? What if it's actually an upgrade? Let's dive in and find out.
So this is the big question, right? It's the one that's kind of hanging over every single writer, every artist, every creator out there. I mean, when an AI can just spit out text, images, and whole ideas in a matter of seconds, you can't help but wonder, is my creative spark about to be snuffed out?
Well, let me just say, the answer is a big, resounding no. Human creativity is not obsolete. It's just evolving. It's being upgraded. So think of this as your personal training manual for this new era. It's a guide to sharpening your mind, getting a handle on how your brain works, and yeah, partnering with AI to create your best work ever.
Okay, so where do we start this training? Well, it's not at the keyboard. Nope, it's inside our own heads. Before we can even think about collaborating with AI, we've got to prepare the soil. The place where our ideas actually grow. And believe it or not, one of the most powerful tools for that is meditation.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Meditation, isn't that just about feeling calm and zen? Well, not exactly. For a writer, this is a core skill. Seriously. It's all about turning down the volume on all that mental noise, all that chatter that's constantly going on. When you do that, you suddenly become way more open to those quiet little ideas, those subtle connections that are always just floating under the surface. You're literally creating space for creativity to pop up.
So, how do you actually do this? It's super simple. Here's a little ritual you can start using, like today. First step, just sit and focus on your breath. That's it, for 10 minutes. Thoughts will pop up, just let them go. Next, you're going to switch into what I call notebook mode. Grab a pen and just write freely for 5 minutes. No filter, no editing, just get it all out. And finally, you wrap up with just 2 minutes of quiet reflection. It's a simple little process, but it totally primes your mind and clears the runway for your best ideas to take off.
All right, so we've trained the mind, we've done our meditation warm-up. Now, let's pop the hood and look at the machinery itself. Let's get into the neuroscience of what's really going on inside your brain when you get creative.
The easiest way to think about this is that your brain has a two-person creative team working inside it. It's pretty cool. On one side, you've got your idea generator. The sciencey name is the default mode network, but basically, this is your brain's daydreaming state. It's responsible for all those shower thoughts, It connects random ideas and memories to create something totally new. It's kind of messy and all over the place. Then on the other side, you've got the editor. This is your executive control network. This part kicks in when you need to focus, to look at all those wild ideas and decide, okay, which ones are actually good. Real true creativity is just the dance between these two systems, the generator and the editor, working together.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's not about passively waiting for inspiration to strike like lightning, right? No, we are actively training these brain networks. The meditation we talked about, that helps the flow from the generator. The focus work, that sharpens the editor. So what this really means is that creativity isn't just some mysterious art. It's also a science. It's a skill we can actually work on and master. Okay, so we've tuned up our inner world. We understand our brain's creative team. Now, it's time to introduce the powerful new tool in our toolkit, the AI Copilot.
But, and this is a big but, collaborating with AI isn't as straightforward as you might think. There's a paradox here. Yeah, these tools can be amazing for brainstorming and getting a first draft down. But they come with this hidden trade-off, a catch that every single creative person needs to know about.
And check this out. The data on this is really clear. There's a definite trade-off. A big study looked at a bunch of research and found that, yeah, working with AI gives you a little boost in performance, but, and here's the kicker, it can cause a huge drop in how diverse your ideas are. Why? Because the AI tends to go for the most common, well-trodden paths. It leans toward the average. So if you're not careful, your work can end up feeling a lot less original. So what's the takeaway here? It's absolutely crucial that you use AI as a strategic partner, not a replacement for your own brain. You have to stay in the driver's seat. So here's a smart 4-step way to do that. Step 1, prompt the AI, get some initial ideas flowing. Step 2, and this is super important, you expand on those ideas. Go down your own creative paths without the AI's help. Step 3, merge the best of both worlds. Take the AI's strongest starting points and blend them with your unique expansions. And finally, step 4, you refine. You make the final calls, you cut the cliches, you add your own voice, your own human perspective. You are in control.
All right, so
Where is all this heading? With these new tools in our hands, what does it even mean to be a writer anymore? Especially as we're staring down the barrel of an era with even more powerful intelligence.
The next big thing on the horizon is something experts are calling superintelligence. We're talking about an AI that could potentially outperform humans in, well, pretty much every cognitive task. And yeah, that includes writing. Now, I know that sounds kind of intimidating, right? But thinking about this actually forces us to get really, really clear on what makes a human writer not just relevant, but absolutely essential.
So in this new era, our role has to evolve. We're not just craft workers anymore, just focused on making the sentences pretty. We become creative strategists. Our job becomes about shaping the big ideas, wrestling with the ethics of a story, and pouring in a unique voice and a deeper meaning. These are the big picture tasks that a machine just can't do on its own.
And this is what you, the human writer, bring to the table. These are your superpowers, your irreplaceable skills, empathy, the ability to actually connect with a reader's heart, embodied experience, all the memories, the feelings, the messiness of being alive, your moral imagination, to explore what's right and what's wrong, and maybe the most important one of all, purpose, the why behind the entire story. You just can't program these things into a machine.
So let's end with this one final thought. Look, a machine can definitely write a sentence. It can write a paragraph. Heck, it can probably write a whole story, but can it write a future? Can it use words to shape what we believe in, to inspire real change, to help us build a better world? No. That is the new elevated task of the human writer. That is your purpose.